Blog Talk Radio.
Third phase of moon. Third phase. Third of moon. Phase of moon.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. This is Blake Cousins. Thanks to everybody around the world joining us live right now on the radio. We have some amazing guests tonight on our show. First, we're going to speak with Preston Dennett. He's a great author. He's wrote many investigative books on the UFO phenomenon hitting worldwide. He's written books such as UFOs in California, UFOs over New York. We're going to speak with him here very shortly. Everybody call in if they want to speak with our special guests, also included Joe Rodriguez, UFO investigator right there in downtown LA, covering what Robert Bingham claims he could do, summon UFOs. Robert Bingham will be here as well and take your questions. So again, everybody, hold on tight. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon, and we're going to go to our first call right now.
Hi, Blake.
Hey, welcome to Third Phase of Moon. This is Blake Cousins. Who am I speaking with?
This is Preston Dennett.
Hey, Preston. Thanks for joining us again right here at Third Phase. It's been, an amazing ride. You've got these books that you've been writing for many years, and I want to cut straight to the chase. We're going to talk about the president's involvement back in the day with President Eisenhower with aliens and secret meetings, right?
That's right. It's quite a story, actually, which took place at Edwards Air Force Base. It's really, kind of right there in the fringe of the whole UFO, all the UFO stories that are out there. And but if you go look into it, it's got a surprising amount of evidence to support it, actually. And the story, basically, in a nutshell, is in 1954, President Eisenhower disappeared, basically, from the press. They did not know where he was, and no one knew what was going on, and newspapers were actually reporting that he had been killed at one point. That was immediately retracted, and a story was put out that he had an emergency dental appointment. But immediately after this, reports started also coming out that he had been secreted off to Edwards Air Force Base, where he had a meeting with these ETs. And this story was leaked by several, actually 2 or 3 researchers, UFO researchers, who said that they had first-hand witnesses who were there at the base. And so immediately right off the bat, this story had at least some meat to it, right?
No doubt. We've talked and spoken with some major ufologists around the world, including Stanton Friedman, nuclear physicist, and he thinks that, our present-day president at the moment, Obama, really has no power and has no knowledge of what really is going on in alien involvement and UFO activity with the general public.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he was really in the loop, not like some presidents. Eisenhower was. George Bush, the first one, definitely he was the head of the CIA. I'm sure he knows what was going on. Carter, he saw a UFO when he was governor of Georgia. And but apparently he was not an insider and tried to get some of this UFO stuff released and was unsuccessful at it. So Reagan, he apparently was an insider to some degree and made several veiled comments to the public about an alien threat, and had this whole Star Wars project as well, which many people thought was something to do with these UFOs. So definitely presidents have been struggling with it, and Eisenhower was the one who apparently was majorly had this huge meeting, right? And and as time has gone on, more witnesses have come forth. Hank Craftsman, Don Phillips, he's a CIA, worked with the CIA developing secret aircraft, and both of them have said flat out this meeting did happen. And Brigadier General Lufkin, he worked closely with Eisenhower and confirms that Eisenhower was definitely very interested in UFOs and talked about it a lot. So it's coming from a number of different sources. And the point I want to make really is look at this area where this took place. This is Edwards Air Force Base. In 1947, right when we had our first wave of sightings, a big super wave, there was a huge wave of sightings over Edwards, and it hasn't stopped since. In 1965, there was a huge radar lock-on with a bunch of objects hovering right over the base, caused a huge deal. In 1958, Gordon Cooper, the astronaut, was actually at the base when a UFO landed, and they took footage of it. He didn't see the UFO land, but he saw the footage, he developed it, and sent it off to his superiors, and he never saw the footage again. And repeated inquiries have not produced this footage. So we know the government does have, knowledge of this stuff, and particularly at Edwards. What's going on at Edwards is crazy.
Incredible. We're talking with Preston Dennett, UFO investigator and author of many books in regards to the phenomenon of UFOs. And if anybody has any questions for Preston and some of the other guests coming up, I know I see some calls coming in. We're going to be getting to those here shortly. You could call into 1-347-934-0378. Preston, do you have any idea what Eisenhower walked away with in his mind that day? What did he, learn, or was he afraid after the meeting, or was he more insightful and positive about the future?
I think he was not encouraged by it, actually, because what apparently happened, according to the stories that are coming out, is there was a meeting that ETs were very concerned about our use of nuclear weapons, and wanted us to give it up, and they wanted to impart spiritual knowledge and things like this, and we wanted their technology. So it wasn't like a super amicable meeting, and apparently Eisenhower was afraid that there was going to be a huge religious backlash and a huge upset to our societies. So he decided not to release this information. And apparently this is all part of the cover-up that's been going on since 1947 at least.
Well, I don't know about you, but we have 45,000 subscribers. Myself, I'm ready for disclosure. I think everybody out there is ready for disclosure. We're not going to panic and raid the street, like, wow, aliens do exist in our mass universe. Just give it up already. We're trying to get this petition signed with 25,000 required to get some answers from the White House. We're trying to get that going. What do you think about that, Preston?
I think it's a great idea. There's been a movement towards that for a long time. When I got involved in this field like 20 more years ago, there was talk about disclosure back then. And it seems like it's always been on the horizon. But as time goes on, you can see that there's a kind of a crumbling to this cover-up. There's been a lot of people coming out now with, Stephen Greer and some other people doing these projects, bringing out government officials who have gone on record saying that they've worked with UFOs and UFO technology. So it's kind of an open conspiracy at this point, and I think absolutely you're right. I don't think people would panic at all. I think we're kind of already inundated with this kind of stuff.
Well, we're going to go to our next guest. You stay here, right here, Preston. This is Ivy West from actually a close neighbor of mine in the state of Hawaii. She lives in Honolulu, and she's a big promoter of UFO events, bringing the top people in from around the world. Hey, thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of the Moon, Ivy.
Hi. Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Okay. I didn't know I was going to be on the radio.
Well, you're on live on Third Phase of the Moon. Hey, can you tell our viewers, they watch live and, we get a lot of views on our radio show, what you're up to and, what kind of help are you working on to get this word out? We're trying to get disclosure.
Well, disclosure is through the people always. The governments of the planet are not going to disclose what they're doing. A good friend of mine, Jordan Maxwell, said that the old magi used to work their magic upon the masses with a wand. Do you know what that wand was made out of? It was made out of Hollywood. Hollywood is always telling you what it's going to do, what it's been doing, or what it's currently doing. You've got Darth Vader talking through the triangle of Freemasonry, and these secret orders and fraternal brotherhoods are running the planet. It's not just male dominated; it's female as well. They're all involved on keeping this quiet. There are literally thousands and thousands of reports of UFOs daily around the world. There is so much conclusive evidence that it's ridiculous. And they keep saying that, they don't exist and that we would have proof. There's so much proof out there, folks. This radio show and internet program is fantastic. for you folks to upload your photos and your videos. And when I have time, I'm going to upload a couple of photos that I'll send you that my good friend Carlos Diaz took in Mexico as his truck was sitting on the edge of a canyon. This big plasma UFO came right up and hovered above him. You can even see the reflection in the hood of the truck. And we went down there, and you can see them. I mean, they're there. They're everywhere. So you've got the...
I look forward to receiving those photos. We do receive them from around the world on a daily basis, and we go over them. And we almost post daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times daily on UFO sightings from halfway around the planet, everywhere. And, the easiest way to get in touch with us is via Skype or Facebook, and visit thirdphaseofmoon at YouTube. And, we want to get the word out. Ivy, I want to have you stick with us. That's great. And, these Illuminati secret symbols. Go ahead.
Do you have a second to say something? The governments of the planet are not going to admit that they exist, because if they do, then people aren't saying, well, do they or don't they exist? They're saying, well, who are they and what do they want? And the governments can't have that, because I believe a lot of them are involved, probably every single one on the planet that's of any significance, because there's so much visitation on this planet, and I believe some interaction. We've got technology that's been reverse engineered and, all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's pretty amazing.
And scary at the same time when they don't want to tell us what's going on. And if they have their own agenda, well, then we're just going to have to wait till they're ready, and then we have no repercussions or any strategy or defense to go by, because we're unprepared.
All right. Well, each government...
Go ahead, sir.
This is Preston. Yeah, each government, is making strides towards disclosure. And certainly the United States has fallen behind lots of other governments like, France and Canada and England, who have all, released a lot of UFO documents, which prove that the government at least knows about this stuff.
Wait a second, Robert. Wait, yes. Before this is an exclusive first on Third Phase of Moon radio show, the new event. Robert Bingham, the UFO Summoner, is going to do it again in Los Angeles. Can you tell our listeners right now where it's going to be and when? Go ahead, Robert.
I've discovered a place in Griffin Park. It's on top of a hill next to a place called Cedar Grove, and it's got a 360 view, and I think it's fantastic for the event that I'm going to have. I decided to have it on February the 10th at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, in the morning. And so I invite everybody to go up there. It's Griffith Park. You would go up Counter Wall next to the Greek Theater. And I'll post more information on that site. I just don't have it right now. You can go on my site, which is robertbingham.org, or on YouTube, Robert Bingham, the Summoner, or UFO Robert Bingham.
So, Preston, you live in Los Angeles. Are you going to be showing up to the February 10th event at 11 at Griffith Park?
That's not far from where I work, so I might be able to make it. Yeah, I certainly had a very good time when I attended the earlier meetings, and definitely got to see some stuff, so that was very interesting. So, I'm going to try and make it. I think it's important what Robert's doing, and I think he's right. I think the UFOs are going to show up, and it's going to be undeniable, and I think our society will be able to take it, and I think it's only a matter of time. Because the ETs could conceivably end the cover-up instantly. They have the ability to do that, and I think the only reason they're not doing that is, for a couple of reasons. So to not upset our society, and because, honestly, we are not a super mature species. We still have a lot of our own internal problems in terms of, prejudice and, class warfare and things like this, pollution and so on. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's coming up, though. I don't think it's going to be too long. What do you think, Ivy?
This is Joe Rodriguez to Blake, in case you need me.
Oops. I see that it's 111. Joe Rodriguez is an investigator and is showing up to Robert Bingham's UFO summonings. And you came as a skeptic, am I right?
That's correct. Let me say something. I went there to videotape Mr. Bingham showing some type of trickery. And in the process of trying to discover that he might be doing some trickery, I ended up finding out that he's the real thing. There's others that do the same thing he does, but I've never seen a UFO in my life. And when I went there the very first time, the beginning of the year last year, around April, I believe, April or May, I was shocked with what I saw. But I'm also shocked with what I heard Mr. Bingham say. And I do respect the gentleman. He's still a human being just like me. But he says that every eye will see these things soon. And that kind of reminds me of where the Bible says that every eye will see Jesus. So I also saw people calling these things as they were shocked to see them and very happy and what have you. And they were saying, save us, show us the way and all this. And I'm thinking, these things are not Jesus. Why are you doing that? So it's something to think about.
You know, Joe, Robert's right here. Can you answer Joe's question? He's thinking that, you know, these might be maybe possible demons, and why are you playing with demonic entities? You know, maybe they might not be angels or demons at all, but, you know, possible creatures from other planets visiting, or, you know, I think we get a lot of videos from around the world, and I know Los Angeles is inundated with spy drones and CIA black ops spying on the people. Who knows what kind of aircraft is going on up there? But, you know, there are some videos that are coming out of Los Angeles, and these things are seeming to do unconventional maneuvers in the skies, right, Joe?
Yeah, no, these things are definitely unnatural. They're not of nature, and I'm thinking that they are to confuse the masses. And again, I'm not a religious guy. I don't go to church, but I do know my Bible. And Jesus said that there's going to be a mass deception and a wide road, a wide gate. Many people are going to go through the wide gate to destruction because they're going to be deceived. And only a few people are going to go through a narrow gate, and they're going to have everlasting life. So I'm thinking worldwide, in India, Japan, everywhere, people are going to be deceived more and more with these things. And you know, I respect Mr. Bingham, like I said, but that's just my only concern, that people might be fooled with these things. And the reason I say this as well is because, Robert, I believe you said one time that they're going to come and help us, right? They're going to make things better for us. Is that what you said, sir?
Well, what I said is that right now we are running on oil, which we don't really need to do, and destroying the planet only in the name of profit.
Right.
They are trying to give us technology that will not destroy the earth, will not destroy us, will not kill us in the end. And that's just oil. Nuclear radiation. Look what happened in Japan. I mean, there's so many things that we're doing in the name of profit when we could do, you know, absolutely a whole different. What it is
for a better world. Is that right, Mr. Bingham?
We're going to usher us into a new transition of living.
A better world, right?
A better world, of course.
Okay, well, doesn't the Bible say that before Jesus comes, the world has to be chaotic?
Well,
and we ought to pray, let your kingdom come?
But I did not say that might not happen. Of course, it's happening now.
So
it might get worse. It might get worse, but, you know, you got to ride out the storm, because what it is, it's like a baby being born. The pangs of pregnancy, but once the baby's born, everybody, the mother forgets about the pain because she loves the new baby.
But that's after Jesus comes.
You know, third phase of the moon, people ask if they're demons, angels, if they're godlike. There's a lot of religious overtones involved. You know, third phase of the moon, the way I think, and I think a lot of other people think, a lot of our viewers have the opinion that it's really out of our hands. I believe the government are creating things right now to do an illusion, a mass hoax over the people, some kind of massive holographic imagery that's going to trick everybody. And it had nothing to do with God or Jesus, but they're going to make it seem that way. And, what do you think about this, Ivy West?
I think that...
No, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so we're talking about, what do you think about the conspiracy that the U.S. government or governments cooperate on a mass scale to do a mass hoax with holographic imagery, creating some kind of godlike event?
Absolutely. Have you seen the helix and the spirals and all of that? Absolutely. They have that technology today. Not only that, with all the drugs that they're giving people and all the radiation that they're allowing to spew out of Fukushima, and all of this stuff is affecting us so that they can use their mass mind manipulations and MKUltra, draconian. They have a war on us, and that's what they're going to do. We're their slaves, and that's what they want to do.
It's a mass deception.
Yeah, it's very, very, very big. You've got the old York right moving to America.
Yes, MKUltra. I think former Vice President Dick Cheney was the head of this. MKUltra, the brainwash system. They've studied prisoners, our own citizens, Manchurian candidates. This is the real world. Religion, demons, that's a big picture. But I know we are susceptible as a people with this religion overtone, and they may take that and use it to our disadvantage.
The reason we bring up religion, I think, is because we know about nature. God created us, and we know about nature. Anything that is unnatural, then that's where we start asking if it's religion kicks in. When it's unnatural, it's not of nature. Things that are flying out there, and we cannot explain what they are, and the Bible says that there's angels or Satan transforms himself into an angel of light. That's why religion kicks in, because it kind of matches with what the Bible says.
I disagree with that theory. I've actually done a lot of research into demons because of that, and into angels, into all these various different things. And as far as what I think the evidence shows is that UFOs' behavior falls pretty much under the same umbrella as human behavior. And in fact, I think humans are a bit more demonic than these ETs. I mean, there's no evidence of Nazi-like behavior among extraterrestrials, no evidence of sadism or anything like that. And we do know what they are. I think the evidence shows very clearly that these are biological beings from other planets. I think it's the theory which fits the evidence best.
What shows that? What do you have that can say that it's from another planet? What if it's demons trying to fool us?
I think that at some point you have to take things at face value.
Right.
Demons, I think there is such a phenomenon as that, and that's much more closely associated with hauntings. And I've talked to people who've dealt with possession and things like this. So I certainly am not, just talking out of the blue here. I'm pretty, I've got some research done onto this, and
when people get
just don't see the connection there.
Okay, let me ask you: when people get possessed, what are the demons trying to do to that person? Isn't it to confuse people, confuse the masses, and scare people? Isn't that the tactic?
To a certain extent, I think it's to subvert a person's will, and the evidence shows that ETs are actually trying to help us. I mean, the very most common thing that happens to people when they're taken on board is that they're given messages about nuclear proliferation, pollution, these kinds of dangers. They're taught also about how to do psychic healing, and taught about themselves in very spiritual ways. People come away from their encounters very, very spiritual, and often will abandon religion as a result. So,
that's my whole point. I think that's the whole point, to abandon God, to abandon religion.
I
think that's their whole
faith in God
purpose.
grows even stronger. So I just don't think the evidence shows the connection between, the point I want to make is between demons and UFOs. I really just don't think that explanation is correct.
Exactly. I like to say, this is Robert speaking, I like to say that the governments around the world and the powers that be are doing a lot of things to make us think that they're bad, and when there's a lot of demonic things or whatever. But the terrestrials themselves are utilizing these methods that they're using and reversing it and making it a tool for them to enlighten the public as to what's going on. So no matter what the government or the powers that be use, the terrestrials have the ability to reverse it and make it a tool for themselves. So I'd like to let people know that.
I respect what you say, Robert, but it contradicts Scripture.
No matter what they're working on, it's not going to work.
All right, we're in our second half hour of the radio broadcast. Is everybody here still with us? Preston Dennett?
I'm here.
All right. Ivy West?
I'm here.
Great. Robert Bingham?
Yeah. Good.
All right. And Joe Rodriguez?
I'm here.
Great. And we're going to invite one more guest calling in from 201. This is Third Phase of Moon. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
How you doing, Blake? It's Mark.
Hey, Mark. How you doing? You have any questions for our guest tonight?
Yeah, this question goes out to any of the guests. First of all, I would just like to say, like, whether they're angels or demons, we know they're one of them. And, you know, no disrespect to what Robert Bingham's saying, you know, about them giving us new technology to, you know, advance our culture or whatever. But in the end, what will that technology cost us? You know, that's just a question to ponder. And on another thing, what do you guys think about our government's using, like, the Mars program to, like, slowly reveal the truth about the universe to us?
Well, I'd like to answer your question about them giving us technology. They will give us technology once they govern the world. The only reason they don't as of yet is because a lot of the technologies that we get out of these UFOs, we make them into military weapons in order to have the edge and power over everybody else. That's what all these countries are working on. So they won't give it out unless they can have total control of it. And naturally, you know, would you give a kid a gun? You know, it's only when we're ready for it. So that's one of the questions on the technology.
So as far as the Mars program and the slow trickle-down information that comes in, I know it's far away, but wow, can't they just give us some decent video in real time of the landscape, not digitally enhance it to look and come out red? Why are they trying to hide atmosphere evidence and, you know, life on Mars? What is their purpose? Are they ever going to share any evidence? Is NASA a cover-up? Is MUFON a cover-up? What do you think, Preston?
NASA stands for Never a Straight Answer, and that was not my moniker. That was given to them by the press years ago. And honestly, I think that, yes, they are involved in a huge cover-up, specifically with UFOs and the whole space program. And it appears that, you know, pretty much all the flights to the moon were followed by UFOs. We found stuff on the moon that was definitely alien, and a lot of photographs of this have already come out. You can see them on the internet very easily. And yes, I think Mark's absolutely right. There is a cover-up with what's going on with Mars as well. And I know for a fact that I've talked to some people who have seen footage and then later saw it released, and it was blurred out. You know, like very clear photographs of UFOs that he saw were very, very clear, and then were later released and they were completely blurred and you couldn't make out what this thing was. So, and there's other accounts coming out of NASA where people's job it is to erase UFOs out of pictures, specifically on the moon and space pictures of in space. So, yeah, there's definitely a cover-up as far as NASA. I agree with that.
Ivy, do you think that, you know, the Illuminati, you know, MK Ultra, to make the mind warp to the way they want us to think? They don't want us to be free thinkers, you know, come up with great ideas. You know, they got the ideas. What do you think about subliminal messaging, NASA, and, you know, what they're up to?
Well, we're being bombarded on a daily basis of being told what to do. People think that their thoughts are their own, but they're not. You know, and I can prove it to you. What's the opposite of tall? Just a quick answer.
Short.
Yeah, everybody says short. But if you have if you have two objects that are of equal mass and going in opposite directions, the opposite of short or tall isn't short, the opposite of tall is deep, and the opposite of short is shallow. So they have us driving on parkways and parking in driveways. They have this word art, they have these mind control, and they've done it through the media, they've done it through drugs, they've done it through the education system, they've done it through every level of consciousness on this planet. Look, you can't have a bunch of Christ-like conscious people running around. They're not very manageable, and they don't pay taxes.
Very well said, Ivy.
So, I'm sorry, but you can't have a bunch of educated people running around, because they're going to start asking why and who and what, and, all of a sudden, you've got whistleblowers everywhere, which we need to be. We need to be vigilant at all times, about our liberty. Our liberty isn't just taken for granted. You have natural rights. You have unalienable rights that are creator-given. And these governments and these agencies cannot lien them. They are unalienable.
Ivy, you're exactly right, but we have to ask ourselves, and honestly ask yourself down in what you really feel. If, a lot of these people that have the ultimate power were born into it because it's old money, it's gone back centuries, if not thousands of years. So if you're born into it and they know no other way but to have this power, they're not going to give it up, because if we were born into it, it'd be hard not to go against something that's that good.
Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely, and they rule by power. That whole thing is more. They can't get enough.
Yeah, they bankrupted the entire world, pretty much.
Yeah, this planet is run by criminals. I'm sorry, but that's what it's morphed into. The whole planet is run by a criminal element, an alien criminal element, and a demonic criminal element, all of it.
I'd like to know...
There you go, Ivy. Now you're talking my language.
Go ahead, UFO investigator, Joe Rodriguez.
Yeah, well, Ivy said demonic, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's all demonic. It's all to confuse people. It's to confuse the masses worldwide, not just in the United States, but all over the world, to look up and don't waste their time reading the Bible. Don't waste their time waiting for Jesus, because these things, they can see them. They're flying all over the place, and to me, I think it's a great deception.
I'm not saying all UFOs are demonic, okay? I'm saying there is a demonic element. There's a trans-dimensional element. There are all of these different things, and even in the Bible, he said he had other sheep. So, I'm not saying that just by the mathematics alone, we know there's other life out there. Now, they can't all be demonic, but I'm sure that...
Well, let me tell you. It says... He says that there's angels out there. 3/4 of angels, 1/4 of the angels, or 1/3 were taken away with Satan. So
but those are the heavens, Joe. There's good angels and bad angels up there. You have to discern that.
No, I know.
Joe, you forgot to tell the radio audience that you are a magician. And that
I am a magician, but you see,
and a lot of people consider that demonic. So,
because they don't know. But
consider it entertainment.
No, but let me tell you something. Right, it is entertainment. I mean, if I make a pencil disappear, and if someone thinks that's demonic, then they got a screw loose. But I'm
pretty mean tricks. But not mean tricks, but some really fantastic tricks. People would consider that a natural person couldn't do that.
But you said the main word. They're tricks. They're tricks. Okay, so they're just tricks. It's no big deal. But you see, what you're saying earlier, you said that every eye will see them, and the Bible says every eye will see him, Jesus. See, so right there alone, it's almost like if you're connecting these UFOs as if they were Jesus himself to save humanity and teach us new technology. That's not how the Bible...
Joe, God made us in his image, and we are technological beings. Therefore, I believe Jesus will come on a UFO, a giant one, and will be riding on a cloud. But I believe that it goes deeper and much deeper, and it doesn't mean that the angels don't have technology. They could do what they actually don't do things that are literally impossible to imagine.
The angels are spirit. They're invisible. The angels are invisible, according to the scripture.
Well, yeah, I know.
Let's talk this.
I don't believe that I'm dealing with demonic forces at all. The birds and the I have things happen with the nature that really respond well to what I'm doing, and so I do not believe they would do that if I was operating with demons.
Yeah.
I personally think.
Let me say this, guys, is that you guys united because of Third Phase of Moon. Robert Bingham came to Third Phase of Moon, announced that he could summon UFOs. We set the place and the time. Joe Rodriguez showed up. People started showing up. Hundreds of people started showing up over these events. And actually, police officers, LAPD, showed up. Joe Rodriguez shot an incredible video that went viral, made national television. And it involved police officers looking up at lights in the skies. Are you saying that the LAPD were witnessing demons, Joe?
Well, you're not. Why? They don't know what they were looking at. They're looking up. They don't know what it is. They saw something, just like I did. And the Bible says that Satan is out there and he's a grand deceiver. See, I know about optical illusions, so I can deceive people when I do a trick. So Satan can do that 1,000,000 times better than I can. The objective is the objective being is to push Jesus Christ aside so that these UFOs can take over. They're not going to win. It's not going to happen. But in people's hearts, in people's minds, it's happening already.
I couldn't agree more. I just don't. I don't have.
Pardon me?
Hello. I think they don't understand. It's easy to call them angels. It's easy to call them demons. The fact is, they're very much like us. And so I just.
What makes you say that? What gives you that impression?
Well, people have had contact with them. They speak with them. They look like us. They wear clothes. They have families. I mean, I just don't know why you would jump to the whole demonic theory. And for that matter, there's a lot of people who do not follow the Bible. I mean, most of this world who do not follow.
Right. No, I agree. This is more geared towards those people.
Hey, well,
this is mainly for them, to confuse them more.
We're going to be shutting down this radio show. We're running a little bit out of time. I want to thank everybody from around the world who listened in, but I want to say thank you to Robert Bingham, the UFO summoner, for joining us right here on our live radio. He's going to be summoning UFOs in Los Angeles at Griffith Park on February 10th, 2013 at 11 a.m. We're going to post updates on Third Phase of Moon YouTube to give everybody updates on the event, and also check out UFO Robert Bingham. Thanks again, Joe, for joining us, the investigator, Joe Rodriguez, and your incredible footage. Ivy West from Oahu, UFO promoter, and also Preston Dennett, famous author, and has some many great books out there involving UFOs. My name is Blake Cousins. We'll be right back.